Hi, I'm Viveca Williams. Welcome to the Body Talk podcast. I wanted to do a brief intro explaining the concept, purpose, and expectations for this podcast. And at the very end of this intro, I'll be debuting my theme song for my podcast. So let's get started on the concept. I'm somebody that has always been interested in health and wellness. I believe that health and wellness is the key to quality of life. And for me, what's most important is quality of life, not necessarily quantity. I think that you can live to be 80 or 90 years old, but if you don't have good health, if you don't have good physical health, good mental health, it's kind of a difficult road to hoe. So for me, I've always wanted to be that person that walked into my silver years as healthy as I possibly could be. That being said, I've always focused on things like weight training, strength training, skin care, proper amounts of sleep, the right amount of water that you should be drinking, the best types of food that you should be eating to maintain a healthy lifestyle. So for me, when I decided that I wanted to do a podcast, I knew that it had to be something that reflected who I am as a person. Yeah, I'm involved in fitness and yeah, I play sports and all of that, but I wanted to do something that offered more, a way to educate people. And so during the pandemic, I started thinking about all of the things that I focus on a day-to-day basis. Am I drinking the right amount of water? Am I getting the right amount of sleep? Is the sleep that I'm getting, is it quality sleep? And in thinking about those ideas, I wondered were there a lot of other people that were thinking about the same things? And I would venture to guess, especially being in the pandemic, that a lot of people were thinking about these same things. What does stress do to the body? What ways can we do to relax? All of these different things add up to living a healthy lifestyle. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to put together a podcast where I could talk about these different things and bring people in that had experience, that were true experts, people that went to school and studied and were in practice and have been in practice with these different things for years. People like hydrologists, people that are sleep experts, people that are retina specialists, dermatologists. All of these different people were people that I envisioned bringing in to talk on my podcast. And so that basically was the basis of the concept for this podcast. The purpose, again, as I said, was to just be able to educate people or just better inform people, because I think there's so much information out there. A lot of information that is supportive, a lot of information that is contradictory. Sometimes you really don't know what to believe and what's fact, what's fiction, what's myth. And so I wanted to bring in people that could tell you, oh yeah, that's definitely a fact, or no, that's not necessarily something that I, as an expert, would support. So that was basically the purpose of it. And for me, again, my expectations for this blog, I just want it to be something that people enjoy listening to, that it reaches people all over the world, that it is something that adds a little bit of interest or adds quality or gives you the tools to add quality of life to your being. I think that with information that we have, we make choices, and the choices that we make become the sum of who we are. So if you're given the right information, then hopefully you'll make the right choices. And so that basically is the expectation of this podcast. I probably won't be doing, honestly, a lot of editing simply by virtue of the fact that I'm not perfect. I think that there's something endearing about people that are raw on podcasts that lets you see that, oh yeah, I don't talk perfectly. Yeah, I make mistakes. Yeah, I say a lot, or, there are long pauses. I mean, you obviously don't want them to be so long that people are like, okay, is the person still there? But, you know, there are very few people that speak perfectly all the time without any type of pause or hesitation. So I won't be doing a lot of editing, but I'm hoping that even in that people will still want to listen. The last thing that I said that I wanted to do was debut my theme song. My theme song, how it came about, there's a guy that lives in my building named A. Charles. You can find him on Spotify. He's on YouTube Music. He also has a few videos out on YouTube, and he's on Instagram at A. Charles. So he lives in my building, and I met him in the gym, and we started talking about life and things in general. And, he basically let me know that he was a musician by night, because he works a straight-laced job by day, per his mother's request. And so he does music. And so I listened to some of his music and I really liked it. Fast forward to several months later during the pandemic and me coming up with the concept for my podcast, I ran into him and I was like, I really like your music. Would you be willing to do my theme song for me? And he was like, absolutely. So that just goes to show you how nice of a guy he is, because most people would have been like, no. But anyway, so he said yes. And he came up with, I think, a great song. The first time I heard it, I was dancing in my kitchen. I was so excited. So hopefully you guys, it will have the same effect on you guys. And this is it. There are actually 2 versions. I'm going to play both of them. The words are the same, but the beats are different. So I will probably be phasing both songs in and out through the different podcasts, but this will be the only probably real time that you get to hear the whole song throughout. So this is it. Hopefully you guys will like it. Hopefully you guys will be enthusiastic about this podcast, as enthusiastic about it as I am. You will listen and be waiting on the edge of your seat for the next one to be posted. So thanks again for listening to this intro, and please let me know what you think about the song. Take care.
Body talk, but body talk, body talk. But body talk. Everybody wants a life that's swell, but you gotta have the tools if you wanna live well. Body talk, but body talk, body talk, but body talk. Everybody wants a life that's swell, but you gotta have the tools if you wanna live well. First rule, you are what you eat. Not to mention how important is sleep. This is just an excerpt, this is not a lecture. That is why we sit down with experts. It's time to pass out top tier knowledge, and this audio show is way cheaper than college. We're all busy, but you gotta find time to prioritize sharpening your body and mind. It sounds fun to run wild and free, but you can't put the price tag on being healthy. We admire those that have it all figured out, so they stop by this pod to spread it word of mouth. Each one teach one, that's how the story goes. We could all learn something from the rookies to the pros. So press play and come with an open mind. You'll be pleasantly surprised by the gems that you find. Hey, body talk, but body talk, body talk, but body talk. Everybody wants a life that's swell, but you gotta have the tools if you wanna live well. Body talk, but body talk, body talk, but body talk. Everybody wants a life that's swell, but you gotta have the tools if you wanna live well.
So that was the first version of my theme song, Body Talk, for the Body Talk podcast. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to play the second version. Again, keep in mind the words are going to be the same, the lyrics will be the same, but the beat is going to be a little bit different. So, and here we go.
body talk, body talk, body talk, body talk. Everybody wants a life that's swell, but you gotta have the tools if you wanna live well. Body talk, body talk, body talk, body talk. Everybody wants a life that's swell, but you gotta have the tools if you wanna live well. First rule, you are what you eat. Not to mention how important is sleep. This is just an excerpt, this is not a lecture. That is why we sit down with experts. It's time to pass out top tier knowledge, and this audio show is way cheaper than college. We're all busy, but you gotta find time to prioritize sharpening your body and mind. It sounds fun to run wild and free, but you can't put a price tag on being healthy. We admire those that have it all figured out, so they stop by this pod to spread it word of mouth. Each one teach one is how the story goes. We could all learn something from the rookies to the pros. So press play and come with an open mind. You'll be pleasantly surprised by the gems that you find. Hey, body talk, body talk, body talk, body talk. Everybody wants a life that's swell, but you gotta have the tools if you wanna live well. Hey, body talk, body talk, body talk, body talk. Everybody wants a life that's swell, but you gotta have the tools if you wanna live well. But you gotta have the tools if you wanna live well.